Drew McIntyre looking to become Mr. Money in the Bank, looking to push through all the odds with that he's been dealing with CM Punk, and the bell has rung. This bout is underway. There are no countouts, no disqualifications, anything goes. The first one to climb the ladder, retrieve the briefcase, unhook it, is your Mr. Money in the Bank for 2024. And the ring starting to clear. Carmelo Hayes taking some shots on the megastar LA Knight, and Chad Gable working on Jey Uso in the corner. Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight have had their fair share of issues on Friday Night SmackDown over the past few weeks. Oh, what a pop-up neck breaker to Chad Gable. And now the two favorites for this year's Money in the Bank ladder match eyeing each other down in the center of the ring. It's Yeet versus, it's the megastar LA Knight and the Yeet Master. Main event, Jey Uso in the center of the ring. Things are about to pick up. And Carmelo Hayes and Chad Gable both bringing in ladders. What is this about? Instead, sliding through, LA Knight taking out Chad Gable. Jey Uso taking out Carmelo Hayes. Great strategy for these two men. And now McIntyre with Andrade up. Oh, driving him spine first into the barricade. This is a furious Scottish warrior. Drew McIntyre looking to take all of his emotions, everything that he's been dealing with CM Punk, and putting it into climbing that ladder, retrieving the briefcase, and now slamming the ladder, taking out Uso and LA Knight, now taking out Gable. Oh my God, turning Carmelo Hayes inside out with a shot with a ladder. This could be McIntyre's time. This might be the quickest Money in the Bank ladder match we've ever seen. Nobody's there. Oh, never mind. But here comes Chad Gable. It seemingly was going to be Drew McIntyre. There was nobody there for a few seconds. But then came Chad Gable. And McIntyre has his hands on the briefcase. First man to touch the briefcase in this match. But it doesn't matter if you touch the briefcase. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Gable has the arm locked. Gable's trapped, but he's got the arm trapped. Oh, look at that. A leg drop to Chad Gable. But the arm of Drew McIntyre has been damaged by Chad Gable. Chad Gable was hung up in the ladder rungs. And what a move from Andrade. Andrade realizes how big this match is. And taking out Gable. Could have snapped the knee of Gable. Andrade has Drew McIntyre right where he wants him. Boom! What a shot to the head of McIntyre. Throwing the ladder at LA Knight. And now Andrade, El Idolo, looking to climb the ladder. Looking to become Mr. Money in the Bank. But here comes Mello to get involved. Is Carmelo Hayes going to be able to take out Andrade? Andrade now once again going back to climb. Springboard. What a clothesline. What a clothesline from Carmelo Hayes. Taken out Andrade. Mello, don't miss, as he says. And that shot was picture perfect. Cha-ching. Look at that clothesline one more time. Stomping away. And for Carmelo Hayes, you got to wonder his confidence. He's got to have a high confidence level heading into this match. Carmelo Hayes pinned Randy Orton to qualify for this. That's a big deal. He got to, regardless of whether Randy Orton was distracted or not, that pinfall in general. Oh my. Oh, that was devastating. Taking out Carmelo Hayes on the ladder. I don't know who got the worst of that one, and I don't think we've ever seen anything like that before here in a Money in the Bank match. You know, you think you've seen everything in a Money in the Bank ladder match, but that's a new one. Who knew? Oh my, man, that has Drew McIntyre's had problems with for over a couple years now. The last few years, Drew McIntyre has had his issues with the Bloodline, and now he stands across from a former member of the Bloodline. Main event, Jey Uso, who came over to Monday Night Raw with a trade that was made by the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, who those two would eventually become the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, defeating Priest and Balor back at Fastlane of last year. And what a Samoan drop, taking out Drew McIntyre. Main event, Jey Uso picking up some momentum here with a spear. And a spear to McIntyre. Going to take Drew McIntyre out of play. But here comes Chad Gable. Gets caught with a super kick midsection. And a thunderous right. Enziguri nails Chad Gable. And main event, Jey Uso is fired up. Jey Uso realizes, okay, he has an opportunity to climb the ladder, but you can see that Chad Gable already stirring. Chad Gable trying to pull himself back up, but Jay's going to do that for him. Samoan drop, thinking onto the ladder, but instead Chad Gable counters. German suplex, center of the ring. Great counter from Chad Gable. Gable having to concentrate on this match at the same time you've been in fear for your life dealing with the Wyatt Six. There's a lot of pressure on if you're Chad Gable, because the Wyatt Six can show up at any time. Chad Gable caught Carmelo Hayes in midair. Chaos Theory coming up for Carmelo Hayes. And Chad Gable is fired up here at Money in the Bank, but watch your back because here comes El Idolo. Back elbow. El Idolo had the waist lock. And Andrade. German suplexing the ladder into El Idolo. Andrade. In a world of hurt right now. The ladder right into his spine. And you can hear the WWE Universe here in Toronto with the "You Still Suck" chants to Chad Gable. The WWE Universe not pleased with how Chad Gable, the leader of what was once the Alpha Academy, what he did to the Alpha Academy. And LA Knight pulling Chad Gable off the ladder, now stomping a mud hole into Gable in the corner. And the leader of the Yeah Movement finding himself taking out Chad Gable. With everybody saying L.A. Knight, but Chad Gable, nobody home, sidestepping. Now Gable, oh, what a dragon screw going after the leg of L.A. Knight. What a strategy from Chad Gable. Chad Gable moving the ladder out of the way. What does Chad Gable have in mind? And Chad Gable went for the ladder shot to LA Knight. LA Knight fought back. LA Knight sidestep. Oh! Ooh! What a neck breaker. Oh my. I don't know who got the worst of that one. I don't know if LA Knight took that worse or if Chad Gable got the worst of that one. Let's take a look at this one more time. Boom, what a neck breaker. Both men's spine connecting on the ladder. There's no way to land that one pretty if you're LA Knight. All you can do is hope your opponent got the worst of that one. And now LA Knight refocuses attention on Mello. And their rivalry on SmackDown has been heating up the last few weeks. And now LA Knight has a chance to take out Carmelo Hayes right here as he slams him face first into our announce desk. And LA Knight slamming Carmelo Hayes into our announce desk one more time, trying to clear announce desk, it seems. Now what does LA Knight have in mind? Oh my. Oh my. The ring to our announce table has the ladder set up. What in the world does LA Knight have in mind? We've seen this before. And LA Knight has Carmelo Hayes up, but Carmelo Hayes jumps up and over. Double knees. Takes out LA Knight. What a counter. Carmelo Hayes realized he was in deep trouble and had to get out of there, and he found a way to counter. Now trying to move the ladder, reposition it so he can retrieve the briefcase. And now Carmelo Hayes makes the climb for the briefcase, but here comes Chad Gable to make sure that Mello misses that one. They can hear the "This is awesome" chants from the WWE Universe. What a roundhouse kick from Carmelo Hayes to Chad Gable. Now we have two ladders set up in the ring. A long climb. Carmelo Hayes once again going for the climb, but Chad Gable making sure it doesn't happen. Oh, look at this from Chad Gable. Look at the ankle lock in between two ladders. Look at this. Andrade. Now what does Andrade have in mind? Andrade is very far away from the briefcase. He's not close to it at all. They're not close at all. Unless he flies to the air and grabs the briefcase, it's not quite likely that he will become Mr. Money. Oh, and that spot, but Andrade sliding off the top. McIntyre pulls Gable off the top, sending Gable into that second ladder. And now the Scottish Warrior, who's become psychotic, a Scottish psychopath, having to deal with Punk. And now power bomb to Chad Gable, dumping him onto the ladder. And just like that, Drew McIntyre has that look in his eyes. Claymore to Andrade. Andrade goes over the top. And now this could be McIntyre's moment. Can he do it? But here comes main event Jey Uso. Jey Uso going to meet McIntyre. Oh, my. What a shot. Glasgow kiss. Rocks Uso. But Jey with a super kick to fight back. BFT to Drew McIntyre. McIntyre stunned. LA Knight positioning. And now taking out the big man of the match. The man with a lot of momentum behind him. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has the momentum of taking out CM Punk, finally able to put Punk in a bloody mess and doing it in Punk's hometown of Chicago, as I mentioned earlier on in this contest. But now it's yeah versus yeet. LA Knight, one side of the ladder. Jey Uso on the other side of the ladder. These are the two favorites to win this year's Money in the Bank. Both men are at the top of the ladder. Who is going to knock the other one down? Who is going to retrieve the briefcase and be able to call themselves Mr. Money in the Bank and earn themselves a direct shot at a world title of their choosing, anytime, any place, up to a year? Jey Uso grabbing the briefcase, but LA Knight now fighting back. And here comes Carmelo Hayes. And now Carmelo Hayes gonna take out LA Knight and Jey Uso. Carmelo Hayes gonna fly, taking out Gable on the outside, covering all his bases. What a great strategy from Carmelo Hayes. And now Melo taking out Jey. And now Carmelo Hayes could be moments away from the biggest win of his career, to become Melo in the Bank, to grab the contract. Can he do it? Will he become him? But here comes Andrade. And now grabbing the leg of Hayes, pulling him off the ladder. And now throwing that second ladder that Andrade brought in at Carmelo Hayes. What does Andrade have in mind? He's now attaching the second ladder to the rope and into the rungs of the first ladder that's already set up. Andrade now going to go for the climb. You can see the Money in the Bank briefcase swaying back and forth. And now Carmelo Hayes somehow back up to his feet to make the climb. Andrade could be very close. The dark horse in this match could become Mr. Money in the Bank. And LA Knight behind Andrade. Andrade trying to fight back at LA Knight. Both hands. Sunset flip! You gotta be kidding me! Sunset flip. Oh my, Andrade and Carmelo Hayes are out of this one. LA Knight's all alone. LA Knight, can he make the climb? How in the world, LA Knight? And now here we go. It's time to make the climb. The Megastar gonna do it, but here comes Gable. No. A German suplex, not from up there. And from LA Knight, close. And now Gable sends Knight off the ladder. Oh, LA Knight gets caught. Went for the German suplex. Dropped hold. Back of the head of LA Knight into the ladder. Absolutely devastating. No, no. Oh, LA Knight spine first on that ladder that was propped up earlier. And now Chad Gable's all alone. This is Chad Gable's moment. There is chaos everywhere. It looks like a crime scene. And Chad Gable is going to become Mr. Money in the Bank. But no, Jey Uso's there. But Gable's hanging on for dear life. And Jey Uso, oh. And now a spear to Chad Gable turns Gable inside out. Now it's Jey Uso's moment. Use the ladder. Grab the briefcase. Yeet. The Yeet chants are running wild here in Toronto. Uso is all alone. Here you go. Oh, but Drew McIntyre just clocked Jey Uso with another ladder. Claymore. Drew McIntyre now to fulfill his destiny. Drew McIntyre to make the climb. Drew McIntyre is Mr. Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre finally gets one over with no Punk anywhere around. Drew McIntyre able to retrieve the briefcase, and Drew McIntyre is the 2024 Mr. Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre has done quite a few things in his career. Royal Rumble winner. Beating the Beast Brock Lesnar at the main event of WrestleMania to win his first WWE Championship, a 3-time world champion. Now he can call himself Mr. Money in the Bank. We saw chaos throughout this match. Let's take a look at that sunset flip from Andrade to Carmelo Hayes. LA Knight sent on the ladder to the outside by Chad Gable, taking LA Knight out of the mix. Chad Gable holding on to the briefcase, and then a spear from main event Jey Uso. We thought it was Jey Uso's time, but here were the last few moments. McIntyre yeeting the ladder at Jey, and then a Claymore kick with nobody around. It was Drew McIntyre's time. And Drew McIntyre able to retrieve the briefcase, unhook it, and Drew McIntyre leaves Toronto with a guaranteed contract for a world title of his choosing, anytime, any place, for up to a year. And he could very well do it tonight. And now McIntyre is Mr. Money in the Bank. Now it's time to see if Drew McIntyre will cash it in successfully. It was cashing on him back at WrestleMania. Now it's time for him to get a little bit of revenge. And now he's the holder of this year's briefcase.